very green anymore, or white. Everything is brown. Come on, Toby. Let's just talk about the readings today for a minute. We continue in the Book of Wisdom. We've been in the Book of Wisdom all week. I haven't talked about that. I've been talking about the saints in November, and we continue in the Book of Wisdom, I think chapter 7, and Psalm, I believe 119. I don't remember what it said. Something about the Lord. And then in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 17, I believe, 17 to 21, the Pharisees asked Jesus about when the kingdom of heaven will come. And Jesus says that it's not, he doesn't say it's not for you to know. He says, basically, you won't know, but the Son of Man, he will suffer greatly and then die, and then people will say, here he comes back again, here he is, there's lightning, there's this, but don't be fooled by those things. And what I want to really focus on is it's a lot of, particularly the denominations of Christianity, want to make predictions of when the world is coming to an end, repent, and all that business, which you should, for the reason I'm going to tell you. Jesus said it's not for you to know. You won't know. No one knows. So since we're not going to know, then it's really not important for us to worry about it, is it? We can't do anything about it, but what we do know for sure is that each of us is going to die. And so each of us is going to have our return of Jesus day, our judgment day. So that's what's important, is that you're walking towards God and not away from God at all times. And when you fail, and you will, and I do, and we do, you go to confession if you're a Catholic. If you're not, well then, why not? Jesus didn't start your religion. I can guarantee you, with a bet, Jesus did not start your religion. Jesus started the Catholic faith. Even though it wasn't called Catholic when Jesus started it, but he left people in charge, and those people are the direct historical, factual descendants of the beginning of the church, the people who witnessed what Jesus did. Everyone else walked away from that church. Every other denomination that calls themselves Christian walked away from the Catholic Church. Toby, get over here. So anyway, back to my point. And my point is, be walking towards God at all times, because we don't know, we're not allowed, we're not privy to when Jesus is coming back, but I can also guarantee you that at some point you are going to be judged. And will you be ready? Are you ready? That's the question. And one way of being ready is by being a faithful Catholic, by paying attention to the signs. Jesus died on a cross and rose, and he left a group of people and he left one man in charge, and to build his church, Jesus' church. So it's pretty plain. Jesus left everything there for you. He did what he did. He rose from the dead, proved he's God. That pretty much, to me, that's the deciding thing. Nobody else does that. This tree is dead, all but almost dead. And then he left the church. He left a bunch of men who witnessed everything he did, so they would be the most logical to attest to what Jesus did and said, because they were there. They were witnesses. And then he left them in charge to help guide us, and then he left in place a way for them to pass on that teaching and that authority to the next group, and so on and so on and so on, to the priests and bishops that we have today. So be ready. You don't know. I can also guarantee you won't know when it's coming, as far as the end of the whole world. But you do know your end is coming, and I can also guarantee you that it's in less than 100 years from right now. So take that, do with it what you want. If it helps you, good. If it doesn't, well, don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll be fine when you meet your maker. Just fine.